All right, welcome to our first annual Alumni Day here at Wilson Tech Audio Production. Our panel today consists of several students from a couple of different years. First, we have Tom Santiago. He's 2014 graduate. We have Kevin Hughes, 2014. Darian Vega, 2014. Justin Jovino, 2014. Alyssa Grattani, 2012. Old school. I see Alyssa all the time. And I wanted even more old school, but I couldn't get anybody to come in. Nice. Anyway, we have several questions that both our sessions have come up with in regards to ask you guys. We have an audience here of our AM class right now. We'll have an audience later of our PM class. And we'll ask a few questions, have a few answers. Just remember to, talk into the microphone. That'd be cool. First question, I'm just shuffling these around, I have for you guys is, and you can think about it for a minute before you answer, but how has tech helped prepare you for college and a job? And just as you initially answer first time around speaking into the microphone, just say your name so the audience can hear who you are before you speak. And then after that, you don't have to keep doing that. It just becomes weird.
My name's Thomas. As you know, O'Toole grades you on... We good?
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
O'Toole grades you on professionalism, and that goes a long way in the work industry. This is what I wear to work every day. I work at an orthodontist office, and there's no way this woman would have hired me. I'm 19. There's nobody even close to my age sitting at the front desk in this office. No way she would have hired me if it wasn't for the professionalism that O'Toole taught, the way to conduct yourself, not, dressing properly or speaking properly. So definitely professionalism that you learn here goes a long way, no matter what job you get, because an orthodontist office has nothing to do with audio production if you didn't know. So, definitely conduct yourselves in a professional way, and it'll give you a leg up on someone else getting a job.
What's up, guys? I'm Kevin. So I'm currently a full-time student up at Five Towns, even though O'Toole's almost practically anti-Five Towns. Whoever said I listened to him.
Anti. Never became anti-Five Towns. It's
Slightly.
It became you got to know what you want to get into, and that's what I've always said. There's nothing wrong with the school as long as you know it's either education, it's music, like music performance, or you want to get into the business side. Exactly. I said otherwise than that, they do have concentration in what we do, but there's no degree track for what we do. That's what I said.
They're working on that at the moment. Anyway, besides that, so I'm a business management major. I have the audio concentration, and the stuff that you do learn in here, like especially with Pro Tools, mostly Pro Tools, translates very well over to the school. First thing that they ever go through you with is, basic steps in Pro Tools. You'll step into the 101 class and you'll be like, oh, I remember this. Yeah, I know this. However, don't walk in cocky, because as soon as you try to use the console, I've seen it happen multiple times. People will be like, yeah, I know how to use Pro Tools, but they'll go up to the console and be like, how do I get signal through it? It's bad. But it definitely helps you out, especially when you have to edit, especially when you have to use compression, EQ, reverb, so on and so forth. So it does help what you learn in here. Absolutely.
I'm Darian. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
I hear you on that.
At least you didn't curse.
I'm sure you all know by now the way O'Toole teaches is tough love. It's to the point, and that's something that helps you as it is. And when this class is really run like a college, because I went to the Institute of Audio Research in Manhattan, and it was basically the same thing, just with different topics, more lessons, and it'll definitely prepare you for what college is actually like. So.
I'm Justin. I was a full-time student at Full Sail University in Florida. Basically, what this class provided me down there was a boost into the future before being there. What I mean by that is O'Toole teaches you so much that you're going to learn while you're in school. that you're going to be so far ahead of everyone else by the time you actually get in there. I remember one of my, excuse me, one of the professors asked me, does anyone know what MIDI stands for? Anyone?
Musical instrument. No, musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was
That's what you get for working in an orthodontist.
And I was actually the only one who answered that question all day, and that's because we learned simple things like that translate into the real world, plus plenty of other things that translate into college in this class.
Hey, I'm Melissa, and unlike you guys, I went to the cheap college. I went to Nassau Community College for studio recording technology, and honestly, it was cool there, but it was the same stuff O'Toole taught. Like, we relearned everything. Me and another kid from my class that graduated.
Who was with you?
It was me and AJ.
Oh, it was AJ. Okay.
Yeah, and we were sitting there like, we already know this, but I mean, otherwise, I don't know what I was saying. I lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I threw you off. No, you were saying you went to school and then most of what you learned here was what you learned there.
Yeah, but I mean, there was a little bit more, but it really depends on. I mean, if you want to go cheaper and go to like a smaller school like that, you're gonna end up learning the same stuff because O'Toole teaches stuff that you learn in college too. But I don't know, it's not bad. It wasn't bad. I dropped out.
Hold on, Mrs. Lambert.
Hi,
Mrs.
Miss
Lambert
Lambert.
joined us.
I miss you.
We are on a podcast. We're recording. So if you're going to talk, you must ask questions through the microphone.
Who are you asking questions?
I'm
Like,
asking
past the
you.
microphone?
I'm
Oh,
very
not me?
excited to hear that you went the cheap way. I strongly encourage students to do that, especially in this day and age with student debt being what it is. But did you also take the opportunity to get the liberal arts with it, or are you thinking about going back to do that?
I dropped out.
Ah.
I had Hurricane Sandy my year,
Oh,
so my house
okay.
flooded,
No,
so I dropped out.
that's legitimate reason.
Yeah,
All right. Have you thought about going back, though?
my company pays for me to go back to college, though, so
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm fine.
That sounds awesome to me.
And Alyssa, where do you work now?
Speedway.
Okay.
I'm general manager
in the
for
corporate
Speedway.
office.
No, I'm not in the offices. I'm in the stores
Okay.
for the most part.
So even that, then you can follow up and follow, some sort of degree track through them. Now they make you get a specific degree. They only give you a business track. They give you anything you want, kind of idea. in
They
regards
want me to go
credits?
for business, but I can minor in whatever I want.
Okay, well that's cool. Yeah, that's sweet.
That's
And
good. And that you can use. I think that's definitely something to consider. You can use a business degree in a lot of different areas.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
very, very general.
tends to happen more often than you think, that if you can get even a low-level position and work your way up because you're following the professionalism things that we're trying to impart on you here,
Right.
that you can work your way up to a point where now you're a full-time worker and now you can probably get college paid for, which is very, very nice.
It's something to consider also, because I actually just went through this with my nephew. When you're interviewing at a place like that that's willing to pay for your college, and you might say, oh my God, the salary's so low, you need to calculate that as part of your salary. Things like that, healthcare benefits, all those perks of working at a company, you need to put that into the salary. Calculate approximately how much that would cost you on your own, and then tack it onto the salary, and you realize that maybe, you know what, this is a great job opportunity, and if there's room for growth and things like that, it's going to work out in your favor.
All right, my name's Alex. I just want to ask you a question. You said you went to Nassau, right?
Yep.
Was it for like a certificate of completion, or was it for?
At the time, it was a certificate. I don't know if they changed. I know they were trying to change it to an associate's degree.
Okay.
But when I went, it was a certificate. It was a 1 year of in class and a one semester internship.
And that was the SRT program, right?
That was the SRT program.
All right. I was just wondering. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I have a question for you. How did you I heard that you had like a lot of trouble with Hurricane Sandy and stuff like that. I did too. So, how did you like recover from that while you were in college? Like,
That was the thing. My car flooded, my house flooded, so I ended up dropping out of college that year.
okay.
So I didn't do well with recovering from it.
How did you get back on your feet? I think the better answer.
The
would
better
be-
answer.
Yeah, that's.
I got my job
Well-
opportunity with Hess to come into management, so that boosted me back up. But I didn't have time to go back to college.
And that was local, right? Somebody you could walk to. You didn't have to worry about a car for the moment. So then, and Lindenhurst?
Copac.
Lindenhurst, we're all in the same area. We all know how bad that was. So there's a lot of stores down there on Merrick Road that if you want to find a local job, you don't have to worry about a car or anything like that. You could find a local job that could allow you to work your way up into the ladder and get to a point where you could now buy a car, which I know you have, and now get to where you need to go and start college depending on the job. And it's not like you're out of options at that point. It might take an extra few years. Alyssa's a couple of years out of high school, and for the most part, it takes some time to get back on your feet and get everything back to where it should be and back to normal. You have something? Or okay. All right, let's go with the next question.
Keep in mind, you have a step ahead of everybody else that you go to school with after here. Not a lot of schools have any type of program like this. When I went to school, most kids were, wannabe rappers making beats, and they had, only knowledge they had were from YouTube videos. So you have a step ahead of everybody else. Keep that in mind.
The question is, what is the biggest way that tech impacted you after you left? A question posed to the panel.
The way tech impacted me after I left actually started before I left. I got a job with the Long Island Ducks while being a student here as the DJ at the ballpark. And this year I'm going into now my 4th season. So yes? The Long Island Ducks.
Yeah, every year they hold an open job fair at the Bethpage Bank Park, right?
Well,
is that what it was? Because I remember getting the flyer.
Yeah,
and telling the students about it.
She asked how I got that job, and they used to come here and host.
That's right.
They would accept applications. Yeah, they would accept applications for the Ducks, the food program that we have there, the food company called Center Plate, and then also Carvel. So I applied to all three, really just wanting a job at the ballpark. And then when I went into the job fair that O'Toole was talking about, I had an interview with the assistant GM, and he said how they needed an audio guy. And at the time I was 16, and they were crazy enough to let me do it. And now I'm going into my 4th season at 19 years old, and really stoked for the season to start, really. It's about a couple weeks away at the end of the month.
As I said before, this class really does help you if you do go to school for like this kind of stuff. I'm going to quote what Darian said. It does give you an edge over certain people, because I've come into contact with people in the middle of class, and I kind of look at them like, how did you get here? Well, my professor will be like, oh, what does a compressor do? My hand immediately goes up, but then like he'll call on somebody else, and he'll be like, it lowers sound. I'll just
shake your head.
It's also called makeup gain. So no, false. So but then we just kind of like look away and like, oh, great, not again. But like whenever, if you know what it is, especially from here, because O'Toole goes into the depth with like all that kind of stuff, especially the like compressing and EQing, he'll drill it into your head. And yes, he does. He will drill certain stuff into your head, because you know what? It does reflect into the real world. That is a proven statement.
Yeah, you're in a binaural pan now, right? Yeah.
How many of the students here ever had a problem in a booth, and then O'Toole came in, hit one button, and it was all fixed?
See?
It's not just me, though. That actually is not a really good thing for me, because in the end, I obviously haven't taught them how to properly problem solve in smaller things. I mean, it's nice to go in and just be like, okay, it's on mute. Or, yeah, I just have to hit Alt Control Room on the Digio 3. But it's also nice, and what I want is that you guys solve those problems on your own. I think a lot of the class throughout the day and throughout the lab time is spent hopefully not sitting and twirling, but sitting there and trying to problem solve it yourself. And I say to some students, what's the problem? Okay, look at that, look at this, look at that. And then they'll look at those things and say, okay, I still don't hear anything. The idea is I want you to sit and think about what the problem is, find out the places where that problem could exist, and address it yourself. I'm not saying you're not wrong. It's going to happen for the next 10 years after. My point is, I want it to be a little more problem solving. So when you get out, let's pose the question, when you get out of the class, are you accurately prepared to try to problem solve your own issues you have with gear, let's say on those consoles, or let's say with a microphone cable or selecting a mic? are there things from this class, and not just me? Don't include me all the time. Let's just say the class.
Too bad.
Sorry. Through the class that you've got that skill set for problem solving. Did you find that when you left? Not all at once.
I'm going to go ahead and say,
intro?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to agree with you. Especially with like all the problem solving that I've done here, it definitely transfers over well. Like when you go into school or for like whatever the hell you're doing. Because in a sense, it's a checklist. And when you go into like, say, where I'm going with 5 towns, they teach you signal flow, which is all of audio. You need to know signal flow. Tells you to know how a console works, everything. So if you ever have like problems with like the digis, it's all signal flow based. So like, you have your inputs, fader, so on and so forth. So like something in that flow, if it's not correct, that's why you're not going to get signal. And especially with O'Toole teaching you, he doesn't quite stress signal flow, but in a way he's teaching you signal flow and you're just not realizing it.
Matt's here. We'll wait for Matt to get in and get settled, and then we'll keep going. What's up, buddy? Hold on. In the meantime, Connor has a question.
For you, what type of stuff are you using at the Ducks Stadium and like software and stuff like that?
The software is called Click Effects. It's basically like, and then there's a mixing board. I forget what it's called. It's probably from like '04. It's really crappy. So basically, it's called Click Effects, and there's just a bunch of tabs with all different audio files that you can load in. You click it and play it. It's extremely easy.
Sounds pretty simple.
Yeah, it's literally just click, play, raise a fader, lower it, make sure the dude's mic is on when he wants to talk.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome.
No special mixer or anything. It's just a simple 16 channel mixer.
Yeah, I think it's like actually 24.
For how many inputs?
4.
Okay. Nice. We welcome Matt Norton to the panel. What year did you graduate?
2011.
11. So even older. There we go. We got some older. And Alyssa's 12. So there you go. By the way, to give you a little background, Matt works over at Governor's with me. We had just done a cool podcast Monday night. We had a couple of people on. We were supposed to get Doc Gooden. We didn't get Doc Gooden. But we got Scott Farrell, who's a big name in the radio industry, and he's also on CBS Sports, and he has a show called On the Bench. So he called in and was talking. Really, he was just promoting his show, but yeah, he's a fast, loud talker. Does like this when he has Shake It Up. He does that. That's Shake It Up. That's his thing. He didn't do Shake It Up, which I was, by the way, very upset about. I know. Well, I almost jumped in, but I almost did. I almost said, "Listen, Scott, I need to shake it up real quick," because I had my buddy in there listening. Yanni's here too. All right,
Get ready for this kid. Get ready for this kid.
Hi, Yanni.
Sad radio.
Oh yeah.
Got it.
Here you go, buddy. Have a seat.
Hold on, man.
All right, here's a student. This is Yanni.
Leah
I'm going to throw
Takanachos.
for his last name. Leon Takianikis. The name that never fit on the back of a jersey. Yanni, what year did you graduate?
Sports.
What year did you graduate? 14, same thing? Okay. All right, so he's also a 14
They
grad.
gave you a diploma?
Yeah, barely. Yanni was one of my
Special cases?
Okay. Standout students. We'll say he really stood out, even though he was probably one of the quietest in the class. For reasons that we will not go over right now.
Just for the record, I thought Yanni was a female for like 7 weeks.
That's because he didn't talk. Who? Yanni? 14. Same with some of them.
That one. He just walked in late. What do you expect?
I'm just, some of these questions are a little redundant. So basically, here we go. For everything you have accomplished thus far, do you believe it was worth it? And if you doubted, did you ever doubt your skills in any way? And I guess they're talking about, what it was to go through the program and come out the other side. For everything you have accomplished to date, do you believe the path was worth it? I guess to come to audio and to move on to what you're doing now.
Anyone else? I haven't really accomplished much yet.
Yeah, this class is definitely worth it because this class as a standalone is enough for you to go, get some equipment for yourself and start doing freelance, making money for yourself, getting your own clients. I'm in and out of a studio in Massapequa, and I do live sound for a country band, unfortunately, that tours over the island. So, constantly setting up, doing live sound, running monitors. And that was just from doing this class. So it's definitely enough to get you started.
It's like 7 people now, so we can have a... Hi, Matt.
Can you repeat the question?
The question was, for everything you've accomplished thus far, do you believe it was worth it? And if you ever doubted yourself along the way, or your skills along the way, we'll say. It's a poorly worded second part there, but I like the first part.
Yeah. In regards to this class, it was definitely worth it. It was one of the best classes I've ever took so far.
One of?
Huh?
One of? What's better than this?
I know. The best. And you always doubt yourself, but that's natural, I feel. And then you'll realize, like, oh, that's stupid, and you should just put that aside and just keep working hard. But with audio and music in particular, I feel like a lot of it is you have to do on your own as far as networking and just doing the work, whereas like some things I feel like it's not as required, because this is like night and day. You kind of have to do it and not stop, because if you slack, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Get ready to work for free when this starts. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of free work because you need to build up your resume, your profiles, just to be able to show people what you can do. So.
All right, so I got a question for that. Do you think that the work we did here could get you that head start on that resume reel you're talking
Walking down the aisle is Karen Flood.
Yes, Karen Flood has just joined the program. In her glory. I get to share next to Yanni.
Oh.
What is up, Karen?
Anthony's back.
How does it feel to adults?
All right, anyway, we're recording. And I can cut this. That's the great thing about nonlinear editing. But, no, it's okay. It's fine. I guess the question is, because you were mentioning the resume reel, get ready to work for free to build your resume reel. All right. Are there some things that you guys did here in this class that can help start that process of building that resume reel? And if so, give me examples of what you think was a good help for that.
Like as far as projects?
Not
a resume like a written resume, but like a resume reel where you have examples of your work that people are asking for.
Literally any project you do could be put towards your portfolio, especially the commercials for the radio show. Production for radios is huge right now. I mean, it always has been, and it's only getting bigger with internet radio. It's a whole nother realm of radio. So literally anything you do here could be used towards your portfolio.
Any specific projects besides just the commercial thing?
I mean, if you're also trying to like build up your portfolio and you are trying to look for freelance work, there's like maybe 1 in 10 people that are trying to find, someone, hey, I need this commercial mixed. Can you do it for me? I mean, there's a good possible chance that you can find decent freelance work that way. I mean, just look around online. You could probably find some sort of freelancing gig. I mean, if you are really, really interested in doing freelancing, I would even say get a LinkedIn account. It's like a professional, like, Facebook account in a sense, but for, like, your career field. So I would even say go with that.
I think I used like some interviews that had some good quality recording here, and the ADR. I don't know if you still do that.
Yep.
What else? Didn't we do like an autobiography on like, we pick like an artist to talk about?
Yes, artist discography.
Yeah, discography. Yeah. I did that.
And that's a big project for editing. It's a huge editing project where, you're doing voiceover work, so it's good voiceover recordings. You're mixing in music up and down, so it's a bunch of mixing, transitioning stuff. And, of course, just from start to finish, the writing that you had to do to get that done. We say goodbye to Kevin Hughes for the moment. Kevin has to go to work.
Yeah.
School? All right, school this time. You work too. I'll talk to you. You come back later, we'll be here till 1:30. It's up to you.
Don't
kill yourself.
One project that'll definitely help you, is the project you did with the movie clip, and you replaced all the audio. because post-production is a very big part of the industry right now. There's plenty of jobs out there for it. So definitely, hopefully you did good on that project and you can shop that around.
I got another question just to move on because we got about 7 minutes left. This is a pretty good one. After high school, do you think it would be a better idea to go to college or a tech school that offers a certificate to get the necessary training needed to be successful?
That depends on the type of student you are and how serious you are about it.
And how much you can afford it.
Yeah, like, your name? Alyssa went to Nassau. There's nothing wrong with that, like Miss Lambert said. In the long run, you're going to take the same classes you took in Nassau and Suffolk the first 2 years at your four-year school anyway. It is pointless to spend 20 grand over the course of 2 years on something you could have spent 2 grand on. As far as tech schools are concerned, you're getting the same knowledge that you need and the skills that you need. It's just a matter of what you think the competition is going to be like for a job, because I'm telling you, a bachelor's or an associate's going to look better than a tech endorsement. But if you can prove to an employer that you're better, or you're better suited for the job, then they're going to give it to you.
Yeah, I went to a tech school in Manhattan, Institute of Audio Research, and I went there mainly because I did not want to go to school and learn English or history or math or anything that didn't matter to me. At a tech school, the only math you learn is the math that matters. Obviously, Thomas said it is a matter of getting an actual degree or certificate, but also at IAR, all the teachers are people who are still in the industry. They all have gold and platinum records on the wall walking around. Quick story, there was a time we were in the lobby waiting, and there was just a big shipment of platinum and gold records from all the same teacher, including Bad Boys 2, Biggie, Tupac. I mean, they all get gold and platinum records there, so, you are definitely working with the best. It's just a matter of what fits you and where you'd be comfortable.
In what school is that? You said
Institute of Audio Research. It's in Greenwich Village. Right across from where Alec Baldwin lives, by the way. You always see him walking his dog.
Frank, I got a general question. I'm just going to re-ask basically the journal we had today for anyone, because I just want to know, how your goals, when you got in here, your initial goal may have changed when you left or what you're doing now. So how have your goals changed from when you enrolled in audio production? How did it show you who you want to be? How did you, find what you wanted to do? How did it change or whatever?
Coming into here, Kevin and I, we both went to Deer Park High School, and there was a music production class where we just learned on GarageBand, which O'Toole will think is a joke. But it got our feet wet with audio production. But coming in here, it opens your mind to the different realms of audio production. Because by the time I walked out of here, I realized I don't want to work in a music studio, but that doesn't necessarily mean I wouldn't want to work in a concert venue or maybe doing post-production for a movie or something like that.
Hi. I came
Just
here.
state your name. So for the first time you talking.
I'm Karen. Hi.
When did you graduate, Karen?
I graduated last year. I'm back. You've all seen me before. I came here not knowing at all what I wanted to do, and I learned a lot here, a lot more than just audio production. I learned a lot about organization and I guess being on time and stuff like that, which is something that helps me now in college. I don't go to college for anything to do with audio, but it is helping me. Everything that I've learned here is really helping me. So, yeah.
I guess just to reiterate what Frank was saying, the journal says, have your goals changed since you have enrolled here in audio, and maybe for you guys since you've left audio? So from day one till now, what has changed in you and what your mindset is?
I only came to audio because my friends weren't cool enough to play an instrument and start a band and try to become a big rock star. So I came here because I figured if I couldn't do that, let me try to go behind the scenes and work with it. I came in here not with much of a goal, just kind of to learn anything. I just figured recording studio, that was it. But, eventually I learned that, I love concerts. I love the atmosphere. I love, working with all different types of microphones and setting it up and everything. Plus, it's that instant gratification. You could work on a record or a song, release it, and only, get a few comments here and there. But if you're at a concert and you set it up, everyone's loving it, enjoying it, the band enjoys it. It's that instant gratification that, you did a damn good job. So, I've been wanting to do live sound since. I'm doing it now, and hopefully I can one day be on a tour with some bigger band and try to do that as a living.
For goals, I'm trying to think. Like my goals, when I came out of here, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for recording, and it was just like a goal. But now, like my goals, I feel like they're bigger, and I'm more aware of them, as like not necessarily like just audio production, but it, like you said, branches out to like music or radio, film. And even if you don't end up going to college for audio, it helps you with a lot of other things, and it's very useful for, you could be at a show or something and then everything could just not work, and then people are like, we need this fix, and then you can kind of jump in and help. And even with music, if you end up deciding to go more towards music, there's so many musicians that don't know anything about recording, and it's always, I feel like now in this time, it's required that you know it for music to promote yourself and do your own music. Yeah.
Were you hospitalized recently?
Yesterday. No, I had a test done. I wasn't in the hospital, but I forgot to take it off.
All right. Making sure you're okay.
I was going to ask, after this class, do you think it would be a smart idea to go as far as to college majoring in radio and film production?
If you enjoy it, absolutely. When I came in here for my second year, I always thought about what was going on the other side of that door. But I mean, nothing against Stankowski, but O'Toole's O'Toole, so I stayed here. But it definitely sparked my interest, the video production. I think radio is really cool too, especially with internet radio now. It's much easier to get your own thing started up. Oh yeah.
Oh, another question.
Yeah, it's really slacking.
Yeah. I thought I heard noise out back.
I'm Denise. I'm just wondering, how hard was it for you guys to get jobs after you graduated from here? Because I've been trying for so long, and every single place has shut me down, and they're like, call me back when you're 18.
Don't be afraid to check Craigslist. Just make sure it's a legitimate advertisement. I found my orthodontist job on Craigslist, and that's an extremely professional place. That's not something you'd think would be found on Craigslist. So you can definitely look around on there. There's a Facebook group called Long Island Musicians that's mostly contained of teenagers arguing with one another about the difference between hardcore and post-hardcore and metalcore, and so you just gotta branch yourself out. You'll find something eventually. Sometimes they are a little biased against your age, so once you actually have the diploma under your belt and you're out of high school, they'll look at you differently.
I think you also might want to check. There's a site, Film and TV Pro or Mandy.com. And there's a lot of college students looking for help on their weekend projects or their film projects or their class things. And I don't know how much you guys, whatever college you guys were going to at the time, looked for outside help. But a lot of these schools around Brooklyn and Queens and Manhattan are looking for volunteers. And so how do you start? You start by doing what Darian said. You do a lot of free work. And unfortunately, and some of them will pay your transportation and food, which is nice, so you don't have to spend money in your own pocket to get a credit. But the free work aspect ends up being something you can use on a resume reel, a credit in a movie, a credit on a soundtrack. Now, instead of just worrying about your age, now you're about a resume. It's not about your age anymore. It's about the credits you've done along the way.
One thing you're lucky with coming here is that you have career services for life, right?
Yes.
And then also, quick note.
Mrs. Lambert's excited that you just mentioned it.
Whenever you apply to a place, be awake. Because there was one time through my school in the city, I applied to a studio, and I wake up in the morning to an email that was sent to 3 other people that said, whoever answers this email first gets an internship. So, of course, I was sleeping by the time they sent the email, so I missed that opportunity. Always be alert.
And Matt may know it as...
Don't ever sleep.
I kind of regulate a little better, but whenever I'm looking for people to fill in at the job Matt and I work at, it's about, a lot of times, first come, first serve, first reply. So, you're going to yell at me?
No. Keep going. I was just going to...
No, I'm saying I'll have maybe 5 or 6 guys that we can call on, and if I send out a mass text at 9 in the morning, first one to respond can get the shift on Friday, you kind of want to be on the ball. So
yeah, like with networking, everything's on your phone. So I would say constantly be on your phone if you're involved in something like that where it could just pop up last minute. I just wanted to add before about the certificate and like tech schools. Those are great. Like I said, if you could afford it, and the thing about them is they're quicker usually, and they require that you get an internship. It's usually like 3 months or something, or like a year and a half.
Well, for my school, they didn't require it, but I graduated in 9 months, in and out. And then, keep in mind also, there was a lot of places that I looked to get an internship, but they were only in internships for people still in college, only available for college credits.
All right. Well, with that bell, we want to thank everybody for coming. Everyone give them a round of applause for coming out and saying hello.
Good job, Patty. Great job today.
And thank you guys for coming in, and we'll see you next time. All right, there we go.
Good old days.
Every time you hear this song, you'll hear a new instrument.
Guys, test out the mics real quick.
Check.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
There we go.
Here's what I'll do. I'll do my little intro again, and then I'll go around the room, the panel here, and introduce you to everybody. And we'll start with our first question as an opening up, and then I instructed them to do is what they may. And again, feel free to pass the mic around, talk about what you want to talk about, and try to keep it as PG as possible. Yeah, Yanni didn't say anything in the AM, so he's got to start. No, I'm going to introduce you. All right, so anyway, this is Yanni. Let me clear my throat. Yes. Yanni, meet Yanni. All right, time out. This is not how a podcast starts, just so you all know. You don't have a mic, so it's going to be hard for anything you say to be heard, thus making it a distraction and not an adding to the show thing. So let me start again. I didn't start really, but I'm just saying. All right, welcome to the PM session of our first annual alumni. Around the room, going around the panel, we have Yanni Leontakianikis, 2014 graduate. Good. We have Jimmy Skeen, 2014. Got Tom Santiago, 2014. Karen Flood, 2015. Darian Vega, 2014. Justin Jovino, 2014. Matt Norton, 2011. And Alyssa Grattani, 2012. Am I right in all those? Everything? Wow, that's pretty good, huh? All right. Yeah, well, no, Matt's the old guy. But Matt works for me now, so. Yeah, the old creepy guy. All right. So I'll start it off with a question that one of the students asked. Hopefully I'm going to pick some different questions that we had this morning so it doesn't feel redundant to you guys. This was a question I was going to ask last, but we ran out of time. So here it is. Open up the floor. What would you say is the most difficult part of the audio production industry? And I'll leave it up to you guys as you want to talk. Just pass around the mic.
Creating your own individual footprint.
I definitely have to say that, getting into it, you really got it takes a lot of work to get into the field. You can't just sit back and wait for something to happen because it won't happen. You have to put in work and really get yourself out there. In turn, there's going to be a lot of working for almost no to little to no pay. It takes a lot to get out there, but it's worth it.
What I wanted to say before you continue is the first time you talk, just say your first name so on the podcast people can relate to that voice, to that person. Okay. And then from then on, you can just say whatever. But it just helps to establish something. That's my fault, I should say. And that was what, Jimmy?
Yeah, Jimmy.
Yes, Jimmy, thank you. And Justin threw in the unique footprint. You want to exaggerate or elaborate on that?
Well, basically, in this industry, because it is so saturated, you really got to go out and go get it, Nothing in this industry is going to be given to you. It's going to be a lot of hours working for free, a lot of hours of grinding, a lot of long nights, a lot of sleepless nights. You got to want it worse than anything else to make it in this industry.
My name's Thomas. I think one of the most difficult things is the amount of people that want to be in the industry. If you all look, you have a pretty full class. There's an AM session, and that's been going on for how many years? I don't know. This program's been here for a while, and there's going to be many to come. And this is just one school on Long Island. So there's millions of people trying to do the same thing, and you got to prove that you're better than the person next to you. And sometimes that results in failing and being told that you're not as good as the person next to you, but eventually you'll get better. And one of the most famous analogies would be Michael Jordan, who didn't make his freshman basketball team and obviously is now retired as one of the greatest NBA players of all time. Now, obviously, that's not the same industry we're in, but you get the point where you're not going to do well at first. Just keep working at it. Hopefully, someone sees something in you and rolls the dice on you one day.
Good. I got another question here. Were you ever worried about your future due to maybe grades in high school or at Wilson Tech?
Here, I'll get past. My grades in high school were pretty bad, and then not that bad, but definitely better in college. So, yeah, I was always worried. And then once I got into college, I'm Matt. And
Hi, Matt.
yeah, I did a lot better in college, and it kind of gave me like more hope, I guess. But I mean, in this class, I think I did pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like my core classes, and with this like kind of industry, it's not that necessary, even though it's important. Like you're saying before with like going to the tech school and like you didn't want to take those classes and stuff like that. So yeah.
After a while of being in tech, I only cared about my grades in here. I'm Darian, by the way. After a while of being in tech, I only cared about these grades. You know, just as long as I passed back in my home school, I just cared about doing well here and then eventually to the tech school that I moved to. That's all I wanted to do.
You want to just elaborate on where you went and what you did?
I went to the Institute of Audio Research in Greenwich Village, New York City, right across from Alec Baldwin. You could see him walking his dog every
Obviously,
morning.
they've done that part already. I tried to make it not too redundant.
That's okay. I want to tell the story.
Yeah, it's a great story.
I think it's cool.
Yeah. Clean up little Alec Baldwin poops.
Yeah. He has this.
Do they bag him and sell him on eBay? It's truly a certificate of authenticity. Another question here. Did going to Wilson Tech help you get the job you have?
Yes, by bartending with Mr. O'Toole. No, it's definitely helped me continue. I haven't gotten there yet, but yeah, staying with audio and haven't given up on it and motivating me to get there someday.
This most certainly helped me get all three jobs that I currently work at. First one being the Long Island Ducks, the baseball team. I work there as the DJ. I stated earlier how we used to have someone from the Ducks come here to accept applications, and then they also hold an annual job fair. So I wound up landing a gig there my junior year, my first year in this class, and also just the professionalism that O'Toole grades you on and drills into your head. You know, every interview I've ever been to, you know, dress nice and just speak professionally, act professionally, conduct yourself professionally, and you'll most certainly find yourself at least employed. So definitely take what he says to heart.
Jimmy, I'm Jimmy, and I could definitely say that while the job that I currently have isn't in the audio field, any job interview, internship I've ever went on, the things that O'Toole has taught me in this class, I've taken with me. That's, in fact, the only stuff I've ever taken from high school has been stuff he taught me, and it's just not even audio stuff, just general life lessons and everything like that. So I could definitely say, even though I'm not working in audio currently, things from this classroom helped me in just everyday life and getting a regular job.
Before I went to school in the city, so I just had Wilson Tech as training. I got a job as a live sound engineer for a country band that tours all over the island. So just from this alone, you can get little things.
All right, I got one for all around the panel here. Start with Yanni here. What college or colleges did you or are you attending? And if you didn't go there, where would you have rather gone?
My name is Yanni, and what? I spent a semester at Nassau, but then I transferred to Suffolk because it's less of a commute. I don't think I would have preferred to have started off at a different college because it's a community college is a good kind of school to go to for your first 2 years while you figure out what you want to do, and yeah.
I'm not currently enrolled in school, but starting in this summer, I'm going to be taking the SRT program at Nassau, and it seems like a really good program to start at. I know a couple people have gone through the class, and they've all had really positive stuff. From what I know, the class teaches a little bit more analog, the analog side of the audio stuff. I would have really liked to go to Full Sail. Full Sail looked really nice. Yeah, no.
Don't believe what they tell you.
So wait till we get around to your.
But I've known a couple. I've known a couple people that have gone to Full Sail and have positive and not so positive
Sean and his cat.
experiences. But I've really wanted to go to Full Sail. It's one I've always looked at. But looks like a good school. If you're considering schools, look into it.
But what held you back?
Cost of tuition.
There you go.
It was expensive. It's
There
an
you go.
expensive school.
Yes.
You go through it. The program's what, a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah, you
get
can do
done?
it. You could do it in what?
20 months.
20 months. There you go.
20 months, but it's expensive. You'll pay for it. That's the only thing that impeded me from going.
90 grand.
I took my first semester after high school off in order to save up money to get a car and take my road test and get a license. After I got my car, I saw on Facebook the Recording Engineers Institute in Islandia had a 10-question quiz that if you passed it, you were able to go and take their primer course for a week. And then if you passed that, you could enroll into their school. So I kind of took it as just to see if I still remembered everything, and I did. And I didn't pull the trigger on going to school because I didn't have the money for it. Then I went to Suffolk the next semester, and unfortunately the transmission of my car blew. So I had to withdraw from all my classes, lost my financial aid, started working full-time, and haven't been able to get back to school since. But definitely, it's not that I don't want to go to school. It's just right now it's not something I could afford or have the time for. But I would definitely recommend not taking any time off. A lot of people are like, yeah, I'll take the first semester off, I'll get back. Odds are you won't get back. And
Yeah,
even
I
if
think
you
that's
do,
the balancing act. It's hard to work then full-time and get accustomed to pulling in a paycheck and paying for things and go to school. I know right now there's no way I could do everything I do plus now also take almost a full semester of courses. There's no way.
Right.
So if you take that semester off, and you're right, 90% of the time you're not going to school. You're just not going to find the time. You'll get a full-time job doing something that just barely gets you by, and you'll never have the time to go back unless you devote all your free time to that. And it's a very difficult choice to make. People make it all the time, but you might find yourself 30, 40 years old still working at whatever you're doing, and you may not want that for yourself. And by that time, it's even more difficult when you have family and other things to take care of.
But don't let that don't let that be a reason to not go back. Whether you're 20, 25, 30, if you could find yourself, a way to get into class, you might as well go. It's not going to hurt. It's only going to help.
By no means did I mean don't go back to school. I'm completely the opposite way. I'm just saying don't take the semester off, because then it's hard. You get into a different mindset, and it's very, very difficult to get back into the frame of mind of being a student again.
Hi, I'm Karen. I graduated last year and went right to Suffolk Community College. I'm graduating from there next year, and then I'm going to transfer somewhere. Probably going to end up being New Paltz, but yeah, college, a lot.
And if you didn't go there, what school would you have gone or rather gone to?
Well, I knew I had to go to Suffolk for a year.
Well, say if money wasn't
Like-
an issue ever, because it always is, as for everybody. If it wasn't an issue at all, where would you have gone?
I don't know. It wasn't so much the money that made me go to Suffolk. It was that I wasn't ready to leave home.
Okay.
I wasn't mature enough for that. Now I am. I'd like to leave.
It's good because that's me in a nutshell. I shouldn't have gone, but I was allowed to.
Yeah.
And I was stupid on my parents' part.
I knew I wasn't ready this year, but I feel like this year being at home has made me ready, made me more independent. So now I'm ready. But after next year, I'll be transferring somewhere. So.
Well, as I mentioned, I went to the Institute of Audio Research in New York City, and it is a trade school. It's not a formal college, so keep in mind you're not going to get a degree, but more of a certificate. And I wanted to go there because I didn't want to go to a college and learn history and science and all this math that wouldn't do anything for me. But in the trade schools, it's right down to the basics. It's hardcore stuff. It's everything you need. The only math you learn is what you are going to eventually use in the field. And that's why I went. Didn't want to do any other school. If I didn't go there, I probably would have gone to the Art Institute in Boston.
Yeah, somebody's up there now.
Right down the road from Fenway Park.
Yeah. I forget the name, but 2 years ago, so 14 grad. You guys know him. I can't even think of the name. I'm blanking out. But he went. What? No, it wasn't him. It was somebody. Gosh. If I think of it, I'll just blurt it out randomly. But they're going up there and they love it. So it's definitely an option that we really don't even explore. But they have a great bachelor's degree program. It's in the heart of the city, and it's like almost being in New York City, but in a different part. You get best of both worlds. You're away, you get the city life, and you get audio education, and they have recording arts. It's this class in a bachelor degree program.
I went to Full Sail in Winter Park, Florida for a semester. Was basically the most difficult and challenging time of my life in that school. You class till 1 in the morning, 3 or 4 days a week, literally, and more work than you could ever imagine. So if any of you guys hear about this school and you're planning on going, just go in with the mindset that you're going to have to, A, have virtually no social life, and B, more work than you've ever had put on you in your life. So just be ready for it. But it will get you a job, though, guaranteed.
When I was graduating high school and graduating this class, a lot of people were telling me to go to Nassau Community College for SRT, and I was set on going away. And I went away to college twice and hated it, and then went to Suffolk for a few semesters and ended up at Nassau and finished the program, and I liked it a lot. So, and I ended up getting an internship there, and I finished a liberal arts associate's degree also, and now I'm currently accepted to SUNY Purchase for the fall. So,
what was the internship?
At Voodoo Recording Studios in Port Jefferson. Yeah, I definitely would check out Nassau. It's a good program.
Well, the thing is, it is a certificate base. So
it's a certificate base. So
degree.
Yeah, you don't. It's 3 semesters. You take like basic music theory and recording, music business, and then maybe in English, depending on where you score, like English and math. But then I ended up, since I already had so many credits from 3 other colleges, I ended up finishing my liberal arts. I had to just take another semester, and just so I had a degree, and then I was able to, I got the honor roll there, and I was able to apply to SUNY Purchase, and I got in easily, and so I'm just waiting that. And if I would have gone somewhere else, I applied to like SUNY Fredonia, but that's like so far and snowy, and I don't know. I went away twice, so I probably wouldn't have went away. I mean, I was thinking about going to Institute of Audio Research, so maybe there, or like SSAE, I think. Yeah. Or, yeah, something like that. Tech school. Yeah.
REA, REI, or whatever that is Tom was looking into. So there's also a tech-based program, yeah.
All right, I think this is my first time with a mic this time around. So I'm Alyssa. I took the SRT program in Nassau. I mean, it was fun. I ended up dropping out because of Hurricane Sandy, and like O'Toole said, once you leave, sometimes you don't go back. I didn't go back. I ended up with a full-time job, or 2 full-time jobs. Was not fun. But, I mean, the SRT program at Nassau was pretty great. The professor for studio was monotone as shit half the time. Oh, oops, I cursed.
All right, I'll bleep it.
Sorry. Yeah, and then with his little tangents every 20 minutes going off about something else. But you learn a lot from him, especially from his tangents. Because he'll just go off about something from the industry.
You gotta ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And if there was ever a choice in anywhere else you would go, would you choose
Well,
somewhere else?
when I went to Nassau, I had my interview for Full Sail too, but I couldn't afford it. That's why I went cheap and stayed at Nassau.
Yeah, I think the lesson is a lot of these guys find, even when they go away, things happen along the way. And that if you dumped a ton of money into something that might go awry, then you lost a lot of money. But if you end up and you're not sure, you're not 100%, I want to be here now and do this and devote everything to it. If you're not at that level, then maybe you start off with something a lot more affordable that if you do end up leaving, you're not losing a lot. You're losing only a little bit of money and you don't lose much ground. But then the overall secondary point is once you leave and you don't start right back up again, a lot of these guys end up staying out of it. And sounds like regret around about the people that never went back, that they probably could or should or would if they had the opportunity. But as I said, life gets in the way sometimes, so we have to afford to live before we afford the schooling part, especially when we have a job already.
Yeah, like if you want to go away just for the sake of getting out of your house and going away, I suggest not doing that. As much as you may be sick of being at home and you don't want to go to like Suffolk or Nassau because people are saying, oh, it's the 13th grade, it's cheaper and you're going to take the same core classes, and then you could always go away after if you're set on it, and it's basically what you want to do for your education. Don't just like, oh, I want to party or go away and live at school.
Fun fact, I heard Nassau and Suffolk are the top 2 community colleges in America, and they happen...
It's true.
It's not a fun fact. It is a fact. Yes.
Yeah. And they happen to be located on Long Island, both, a 20-minute drive away from wherever you may live in any direction. So it's definitely more than the 13th grade. We have the best community colleges in the nation. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, keep in mind, too, there's a lot of different schools with articulation agreements. So, like, where I went IAR, I graduated in 9 months, but then there's tons of other schools I have agreements with. So I could go there right off the bat. It would be cheaper. I would get less classes. And, so always try to look at schools that link up.
I think the one thing that I learned from IAR when we were talking to them to do our visit is they have an articulation agreement with 5 towns. 5 towns have reached out.
They just got 5 towns.
Just got approved, and we got one too now. They offer 6 credits for $300 just by completing this class, and it's transferable anyway. You don't have to go there to get those credits. You can literally just pay for them, and you get them because you did the minimum requirements that are here. I think it's like an 80 or above, and the absence is obviously the same thing with the rest of the articulation agreements. Anything else to add?
Yeah, like I said, I went to Suffolk because I wasn't ready to go anywhere else. But I obviously didn't want to go there. No one wants to go to Suffolk or Nassau. But once I got there, I realized that it is a completely different experience. It's not high school. It's not 13th grade. And I'm learning a lot. And it's honestly just a cheaper way to get your degree. And then you can move on. And it's like you're taking the same classes for cheaper. You're taking all your general education classes for like a year or 2 years. And it's just easier. You're not ready. It's a good place to start.
Yeah, and like I said, especially if you weren't 100% about the school you're about to go away to. If you're dead set on going to a very specific place, you know it in your heart and your head, and you know you're going to work to keep it that, then go, by all means. But if you're someone who's on the fence, you know a little bit about yourself and how you act, then the credits that you'll receive are college credits, regardless of what name's on them, and the cost is significantly cheaper.
Yeah, like when I visited SUNY Fredonia, they expected the kids coming in for freshmen, they wanted you to have calculus and physics completed, and I didn't even take that in high school. So with the SRT, I feel like it kind of gets you prepared for that in a way where you're gonna either way. The most important part about music and recording is just getting familiar with the program and the gear. Not so much the science right away. I feel like you could always like hone in on that later and really fine tune that yourself. But as far as the program at Nassau, you were hands-on right away, which is I think is very important. And you have to get an internship your last semester, which is it kind of forces you to go out in the real world and email people and go in and get interviews and get an internship, and then that's even more hands-on work, which is also important. And both schools that I went to away, there was no promising talk about getting an internship or having to get an internship. It was just learning the stuff on the board and then figuring it out in your head. And I think it's also important to, if you're just sitting there in a class, in like a seminar class, and you're just listening to the teacher talk, it's kind of hard to ask questions. But at Nassau, the class sizes are really small, and you should ask as many questions as you can, because sometimes they'll just blurt out information and you just kind of sit there and you're like, what was that? And if you ask questions, they'll answer, even if it may seem like a stupid question. They'll explain it right from the beginning.
And 2 points you touched on, and I hope I remember both of them. Well, the first one I do is that if you're going away and you're not quite mature enough to handle the away part, and I think this is something you even said before, if you just want to get a parent's house, then don't make that decision with $30,000 behind you just to leave. But in order to really succeed, you really have to devote yourself to the whole experience. The second part now, I told you I can't think about because I thought about it. You said some good things about being in class and talking and smaller class sizes and things like that. And that's great, especially like this. No Nassau class is going to be much larger than this class. And so you're almost encouraged to ask questions and learn along the way without having being spoke to and feel like you just dumped your money into something where you're not going to get results or answers.
Yeah, you feel kind of weird not asking questions in those small classes. So it's good. It's a good environment to be around. Also, I forgot to add that my first college was called Finger Lakes Community College in Canandaigua, New York. And they had an awesome recording program, but I got homesick and came home after a year. So, but that was, they did have, you were able to get, they wanted you to get an internship. And I believe that they're going to be starting a 4-year program because they're just a 2-year school.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure they're soon, and they're upgrading. They have an API board, they have an SSL, they just keep throwing money and it's working.
I think that's one of the things you got to think about when you talk to a college. You might want to find out about their long-term goals for internships for graduating or seniors in their final semester. You might want to talk about, the potential of job placement afterwards. I know Darian mentioned in the morning that Wilson Tech has lifetime job placement. Just grab one of those chairs. Kevin Hughes just
welcome, Kevin Hughes.
Kevin Hughes. And for the most part, those are things you might want to talk to your entrance advisor with to your college. Do you offer internships? Is it mandatory to take the internships? What kind of job placement or potential future employment do students or students offered? Things like that are really important to find out about your college. And at Nassau, you're forced to. And at Suffolk, I'm not quite sure the radio program. I don't know if they might offer it, but I don't know if they're forcing you into it, but I know Nassau does.
And a lot of people get misunderstood when going to Nassau. You think, oh, they're going to give me an internship. No, you have to go out and get it yourself, because a lot of people in my class thought that the professor was going to help them get an internship. And I think only 5 people in my class, including myself, got an internship, and then the rest of the people never finished the program. Yeah. So you got to go out and get it and do the work and ask questions and... Yeah.
That was the same thing when I took the SOT. I took it 2012 through 2013. I actually dropped out right before my internship, but only maybe a third of my class actually got their internship. It's hard to go out and find it and find a studio that's willing to let you touch everything.
I think it's a little more difficult for people just to get moving to make the phone calls.
That's fair.
Once you get in there, then you kind of, all right, I have a little background, whether it be from tech and then from my college. I kind of know my way around, but it's hard to teach someone to pick up a phone and have the guts to call somebody and ask for something. It really is something that's very difficult to teach. You literally have to go out and get it yourself. So that means you have to be able to talk to somebody. You have to not be an incluse and sit in your house and hopefully someone's just going to give you something. It's not going to happen like that. This is an industry, as these guys may say, that you have to go out and get them. You have to go out and get it yourself. This is not something that's just going to be handed to you.
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid. Once you do it, it feels better, and then you could just do it again. Because if you just, thinking about doing it and you're scared and you never do it, but it's going to feel weird and awkward, and, you might not know what you're doing. You might make it. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You might feel like you ruined and you just made yourself look like an idiot, but once you get past that, it's natural.
Quick note with the internships. There are a lot of great internships out there, but it's for people who are in college only. So don't wait for an internship. Always look for them. You can get college credits.
I think the other really important thing about internships that nobody really touches upon too much is it really allows you to explore what you want to do in the audio field. Do you want to be a Foley guy? Do you want to do post-production? Do you want to do work in a recording studio, recording live artists? It's something to really, getting into audio as a field is big already, but then you got to figure out what you want to do. I took an internship in the city while I was here, and I worked at a post-production house, and it was awesome. I got to work with executives from Nickelodeon. I got to record a voiceover guy from his home studio in London through an ISDN box. It was a really great experience, and it let me know that, post-production is something maybe I want to go into, and internships really, really help with figuring out what you want to do within the audio field itself.
Boy. All right, I got another question for you guys. What is the best experience you had at Tech, and how did it make you feel? Feelings.
Skills USA!
Yeah.
Yay! I love Skills. I don't know.
I wasn't placating you. I was just going.
I don't know.
Karen won the second place in the country for audio production. Yes, you can clap. That was fine.
That's so nice. Thanks,
she really
guys.
didn't get any recognition except from her homeschool because we were closed. This happened in late June, And so when we got back from nationals, it was the summer,
Well,
and over the
I
course
mean,
of 2 months,
I got-
everyone here forgot.
I got my early
I
graduation
didn't
from
forget.
homeschool.
I know, that was nice.
That was a thing.
But I mean, no one here at Tech really.
You still have my medal?
Yeah, I do. I still have it.
Cool.
It's our medal. It's your medal, really. And I didn't do anything.
I'm still going to talk about skills.
Okay, good.
Through skills, I learned so many more things than obviously just competing in audio. It was like, what is their thing? It's like champions at work, whatever, and they like want you to get your like professional experiences, I guess, and like it was all about networking and making friends and just I guess going off and being a professional, being an individual and stuff like that. I did skills 2 years in a row and made it to the States 2 years in a row, and then went to nationals my last year. And all of the competitions that I went to, I made so many friends, and it's like something that's going to be with me forever. I loved skills. It was like the best thing that happened here. It was so much fun. So whoever's in skills, like take advantage of that. If you're going to be here for 2 years, next year, like take it seriously. It's really a good thing to do.
I'll give you my highest and lowest moments here. The best thing that happened was our first year. Kevin, Justin, myself, Yanni, and Jimmy were all in the PM session, and there was only one second-year student. So
It's kind of like here. You got Austin and Brandon as second years, and the rest of these guys are all first-year students. Doesn't mean
Right.
they're seniors. It
Right.
just means they're the first time in the program.
So O'Toole actually named Kevin and I co-head producers for the radio show for the PM session, and that was awesome. And then the second year, he named us head producers again, but on separate teams. So I got to go against Kevin. Yeah,
It was me. The second year, I was the producer.
Yeah, Darian ended up
Which
being
we should have
producer.
won, but we didn't. What was?
He was still winning.
It was winning.
We actually got a better grade, so if there was a winner, I think
Only
it'd be
because
us.
Jimmy cursed.
Yeah, because Jimmy cursed.
Jimmy cursed.
Oh, we were? Oh.
Me and Jimmy. It was me and Jimmy
Oh,
versus
alright.
you guys. We had a rock
Alright.
station.
Excuse me, I was still head producer 2 years in a row. Anyway, so that was awesome. That was really cool. And then the worst thing was my first year, I was absent the day of the skills comp in class, so I had no chance to go to Suffolk to play to do regionals and then have a chance to go to states. So the second year was my first year there, and I could have sworn when we were learning PSAs, O'Toole taught us to always do a tag at the end. You know, this was brought to you by so-and-so. So in the skills comp, her first year and mine and Kevin's second year, at the very last second of the PSA, I said this PSA has been brought to you by Skills USA. Now, from
Throwing
first
the disclaimer out there, that was Tom's idea. I told him to take it out.
Now, first and fourth place was separated by a half point. They wound up getting first, and we finished fourth. And they went on to states that year, and then didn't move on until the next year when they did go to Kentucky. So I know, I'm just jeez.
Yeah, they got second in
So
state.
I still kick myself in the butt
Oh,
every
was that
night
you and
thinking
Sean that
about.
year?
Yeah. So yeah, I still kick myself in the butt every night thinking about how if I didn't say those 3 words at the end, who knows what place we would have actually finished in.
Do you want to know what kept the one we're sending Denise's team that you met this morning out of close to first place?
What happened?
This has been a message from Bernie Sanders. She tagged it, and they didn't get it. They made it about Bernie Sanders as opposed to making it about the topic that was given. So a lot of what we're talking about here is that in the writing and in the top sheet that they give you, which is really your guide to the whole thing, and that's why I do the top sheets and I give you the outline of exactly what I want, you got to be very specific to the exact guidelines of what's going to happen. So if you get a spot for radio for a commercial and the client wants you to give you X, Y, and Z, you hit X, Y, and Z. You don't give them A and B as well because you feel like it. You give what the client wants. So if they asked for a tagline, you gave a tagline. If they didn't ask for it, Kevin probably had the right intonation to not give the tagline. But in the end, you learn from those things. And those are things you guys, I know it still sits with you. So now you know, moving forward in the future, college and beyond, that if an optometrist or whoever gives you something to do, you don't just go out and do what you want to do. You do what they say to do on the sheet.
Yeah, that's definitely something I definitely learned is paying attention to the top sheets when I was working in the internship in the city. I was dealing with the Nickelodeon executives and stuff like that, and they were our clients, our customers and stuff like that. So the whole project, no matter how me or the other engineer think that it sounded or anything like that, the final word came down to they were paying us. So it's whatever they want. It's the same thing here. Essentially O'Toole's giving you a grade, but he's essentially your customer. You got to do what he wants. So it's important to follow the top sheets, commercial copies when you get them and stuff like that. Pay attention to all of it because it can clearly cost you if you don't.
My My favorite memories were booth 6, always being lit. Seems to the point where it's too lit that there's a camera in there now.
Yeah.
That wasn't
So
always
lit.
there. And my lowest point was failing the endorsement test on a computer glitch.
Ah, he's the computer glitch guy.
Yeah, call it the glitch, huh?
Oh, we didn't mention it in the
glitch.
morning because there was more second years that took it, but he was the computer glitch guy.
That's
If you
me.
haven't mentioned it. I don't know. Maybe I just mentioned it to the two of you, but yeah.
During the test, there's a few questions where you listen to something and have to answer through it. But the things that I heard sounded like they were going through a toaster, and it was the same. It was the same thing for every question. So for those questions that had it, I had to guess, and I failed from those questions.
And what should you have done?
I should have said something about it before continuing.
Yes. It's all right.
It's nice to see
Again, we
you.
learn from those.
We all learn. We live and we learn.
It's nice to see Kevin and George still.
Same exact pair.
Kevin, how long has it been since you've not worn jorts?
I'm gonna go with sophomore year of high school.
And moving on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nothing audio related, but my favorite time here in this class was probably the last day. I was the kid that brought in a Nintendo GameCube and hooked it up to booth
What?
6.
Dude.
Yeah, you missed that. It was
I
my
know.
birthday.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It was a big party.
We know, Karen.
Big day.
We know. There
So
was
we have
food.
a final week here, usually where we're done, took the final exam, and it's open studio week. And so I invite people that if they want to come down and record or they want to do whatever they want to do, I'll make a space for you to kind of do what you want. That you've been so dying to do all year, and Kevin was dying to hook up a GameCube. We played Wii one year on the overhead, which was fun.
Yeah, don't get mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. That was
Actually, there was that one time where we were testing the Wii for one of the skills parties,
Yes.
and I think we played a lot of Wii Sports that day.
Yes, we did. And I'm a sucker
No.
for Wii sports, so.
No productivity was done that
I
day.
think I
just letting you know.
dominated tennis, by the way. I don't know if you guys realize.
Yeah, that's something to be proud of.
I'm a pro tennis Wii player. Pro Wii tennis player? Okay, that's great. One more around the room, and then we're going to start wrapping up here. What musical artist inspires you and why? I would like everyone to kind of chime in if they could. And if anything else you can think of it as who's your favorite artist, who's your favorite band?
I'll start off.
Okay, good.
For when I was a kid, I hated music because being forced to learn the recorder or the xylophone in school or something, I didn't care. But then what started all this was a little band called Kiss. And it was just, seeing with the makeup, the whole big show, pyro, everything, and seeing, the drums going up in the air, guitars up in smoke, him breathing fire and throwing up blood got me interested. So I also became a drummer because of it. And now here I am, talking to you people.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, probably one of my biggest influences was probably thrash metal music and stuff like that, and old school heavy metal. Growing up, listening to Sabbath and Metallica and all that stuff, and that's pretty much all I listened to till I got to this class. And once I got into this class, my music horizons really opened up. Where now I've listened to a touch of almost everything except country. I still can't stand country, God. But no, I listen to just about everything now. So yeah. I find that my biggest influences are always new things. I don't, as much as I keep on the older stuff that got me into everything, I'm always looking for something new to influence and something new to look at.
This just in, Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman's going to be on the next $20 bill, just so you guys know.
Really?
Yeah, I just got that update on my phone from the New York Times.
Wow. Newsday or New York Times?
No, but as far as musical inspiration, I listen to a wide variety of music, and there's just one success story that always sticks out to me, that being Eminem. Not even just becoming a famous rapper, it's just he was a trailer park kid, living off food stamps, no dad, mom was a crackhead, and he had a brother, I think, younger than him, always moving, always in public housing places. Well, his brother's name was Nathan. So.
I was just telling you the plot line for 8 Mile.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, watch 8 Mile. No, but I mean, in all honesty, so seeing how one day you don't know where your next meal's coming from, and 10 years later you got more money than you know what to do with. It's really cool, and it's just a really cool success story, especially now that he owns his own record label and he's bringing people on because Dr. Dre brought him under his wing, and now he brings people under his wing. And you listen to any rapper nowadays, Kendrick, J. Cole, whoever, asks them what their influences is, and Eminem will be listed on there. Everyone likes to talk about the Mount Rushmore of rappers and Tupac, Biggie, or who, and Eminem's in that discussion. It's hard to pick a top 4, but M's definitely in the discussion.
Agreed.
Anybody else? Keep going.
Who influences me? I don't know if you guys want to know the answer to that.
Just pick a favorite artist.
Oh,
Which is gonna be
no,
difficult,
no, definitely not that bad. I don't know. I listen to everything really. Death metal and rap, I guess. Back in the day, yes, I used to listen to Attila in high school.
And now, what? Like, if we go into your car, what's on your CD player? Or streaming. What's streaming through your Spotify?
What's streaming through?
Every bump skips the vinyl in my back seat.
I don't even know. A lot of beatdown, I guess.
Okay.
A lot of really heavy music.
Okay.
For me, I'd have to go with the man himself, Dave Grohl, because he does it all, and he's obviously Foo Fighters, and he plays with Queens of the Stone Age sometimes, them Crooked Vultures. The list goes on and on. Nirvana, I guess. What's that band?
Nirvana.
Seattle.
The Naked Baby band.
And he produces, he directs films, he does all that. So he's a good role model as far as anything in media, because he does it all. So people like that. There's other bands where the frontmen kind of mirror what he's doing. So I would definitely try and do it all like he does. That's it.
Who else? I got nothing. Any just favorite artists? That's all.
I mean, you don't want to know my favorite artist.
Favorite artist. Just say
It's
something.
One Direction.
It's One Direction.
It's One Direction.
I used to get
right.
made fun of all the time from every guy sitting here because of my music taste, and it wasn't even just One Direction at that time. Okay, I like different music from these people, and they used to beat me up about it. But One Direction's my favorite, and also the soundtrack to Frozen. I'm gonna go now.
We get it.
Kevin.
Moving on.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Shut up. That was not funny.
You didn't have to say it.
Due to the guy to chick ratio in these classes, it kind of always sucked. Like even in this class, what is there? There's 3 girls.
It's getting
No,
better.
4 girls. I'm sorry, I didn't
gets
see them
better
in the
every
Good
year.
corner.
luck, you guys. I'm proud of you for making it this far.
5. I got 5.
How many? I can't.
5.
All right, I can't see
There
anybody.
were 3,
We're
I think, in my first year.
Oh wait, and we're missing Michelle. Michelle's 6.
No, there were
All right,
4
so
in
this
my
is like
first
more
year.
than ever.
It's gotten better. It
Because-
is. Every year there's more and more.
There were
So I
4
think-
in my first year, so I had to deal with these guys.
Yeah.
And I understand you guys are struggling. Yep, you're nodding. See, you understand. You get
In
it.
my
It's
first
hard.
year, there was 3 of
hard.
us. I think my second year there was only 2 of us.
Don't act surprised, Kevin Hughes.
My first year we lost.
We were not complete assholes.
You are all
She's
awful.
talking. Take her mic from her then.
Damn.
That's tempting. I'm sorry.
Mic thief.
Yeah, really.
See, this
away
is
from
boys
you.
bullying girls. Continue, Alyssa.
That was it. I mean, this is more chicks than I've ever seen in one of your classes.
It's good.
Way to go,
And
girls.
what happens is, and I think I mentioned it along with you, and other people have been saying it. This year we sent all girl teams to Skills.
Awesome. I love it
was
so
Stephanie
much.
and Vanessa and Denise and Sarah.
Girl power.
Because for whatever reason, their projects were just the best.
Can I tell a story about that?
Sure.
One time, Kevin Hughes said that he didn't want to work with me for Skills because he was like, I actually want to win this. And then who won? Who beat him?
Who went to nationals and won second place?
I don't care. I still beat him.
One, it was Tom's fault. 2, shut up about it already. 3, get over yourself. 4, it's not helping you right now
I'm
because
being
you're not even
verbally
doing
abused.
audio. 5, go fuck
Oh
yourself.
my god, stop.
It's got a laundry list. We turned the podcast into a yelling fight.
O'Toole, since
Thanks a
when
lot.
was there estates for audio?
It started, the question was, when did audio production have a state competition? Our first team was in 2013.
That's not fair.
I know. And Gina Ferrara and, Brennan Velez and his girlfriend at the time, her name escapes me right now, won at the local level and went up to states, and there was barely anybody there. It was maybe like 7 teams, 6 teams. And is that what it usually is? Oh, I thought it was a little less. And they got video production people in there doing audio, and we didn't know what the scope of the competition was. It was the first time they were doing it. They had no idea. Following year, we sent this girl, Gina, who I thought was going to come today, but Gina ended up getting second place up at States. Her and her partner, and I got to think of his name, that escapes me as well. So many years of people. And then the following year, it was the Karen 14 and 15 marathon. And so I forget who competed with you at regionals. Sean and Andrew. And no, I don't mean your partner. I mean, who was his second team? You and Sean.
It was me and Sean versus Tom and Kevin.
Oh, and you guys went to Suffolk Community? Or
Yeah.
Farmingdale, where we went?
Yeah, and then me and Sean went to States.
Right.
And then the second year, it was me and Andrew versus Denise and Zach.
Oh, that's right. Denise and Zach. Right. Okay. So that's kind of the last 4 or 5 years. And so we really didn't place too much until these last few years. We got second state and then first at state last year. And prior to that, we were getting maybe third at best.
Did anyone go to nationals before us?
No.
Oh.
No. I didn't even know they had a national competition. They didn't even have, advertise a national competition until that point.
A little bit.
But like I said, more and more in this class and now up at the state level, you're going to see more and more girls competing because, number one, it's a great change from guy voiceover stuff. One.
We have
Two,
prettier voices.
They're typically smarter and better writers.
It's very true.
Sorry, I'm a guy and I know they're girls at your age
That was my strong
are
suit.
typically better people in general. They are. They're just better people.
Yeah.
It gets different as we catch up as
For the
boys
girls,
catch
though.
up.
Can I cut you off on that because it's getting to her head now?
No, I seriously have.
Yeah, but
I
it's
have
this
something
for all
to
the
say.
girls.
It's
And
not
I'm
to my
saying that
head.
they're all
For the
both
girls,
teams
like-
that went up, they were excellent at what they did, and it's more so the competition now, boys and girls in my class, than just us versus Nassau or Suffolk. It's crazy because they're very good at writing, they're very good at voiceovers, and so the technology thing is the only thing that's hanging in there, and every single one seems to understand the concepts and do it right.
Yeah, for the girls though, like you are the minority in this industry and you're always gonna be. But don't let that hold you back, ever. Really don't. Because I remember my first year, I was like, there are no girls in this class. Like, what am I doing here? And I did great. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't do good. I did great. So
Kevin's
just because you're a girl, yeah, shut up, Kevin. Just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't do anything that the guys in here are doing. So don't ever let that hold you back, okay? Woman power. I'm gonna pass this along.
Anything else?
You guys remember when Ghetto Leto stole the headphones?
I swear.
All right, fun fact.
Swear to God.
Fun fact: a few years ago, in order to open up Pro Tools, you have to have the thing called an iLock.
Still do, but they don't know anything
All
about
right,
it.
all right. So you need this little USB piece to get into Pro Tools. It went missing one day when O'Toole was gone, and as the bags were getting searched, turns out someone tried stealing those $3 pairs of headphones.
It was Kevin Hughes.
I didn't steal the
Kevin.
headphones nor the iLock.
Maybe the iLock. Definitely not the
someone
headphones.
made a rap in Beat Wars.
Yeah,
that was
no,
Kevin stole the
Marcus.
iLock.
Marcus made
there you
the
go.
stupid rap that went along with it, and I just
yeah.
listened back to him
Kevin
like,
stole
"Are
the
you kidding me?"
iLock.
Yeah.
The
See, you
iLock.
remember it.
Mm.
I don't.
That's
I
a
have
good
it
song.
somewhere.
Turn the vermin off.
Yeah, there it is. Now it's coming back to me. I'll find that. I'll break that out.
I was gonna
one day.
say
I'll send it
that's
off to you
archived
guys.
somewhere.
It definitely is. I got it.
It's on the server. Yeah.
I have everything.
No
Everything on
Jabba,
tape
no
somewhere.
Bada.
Oh, that I still have.
Dewanga.
Yeah, I still have.
All right, we gotta stop with these insiders. They have no idea what we're talking about.
I told you.
They want manga?
Sometimes I just take it out and I don't want to answer students, so I just use that.
There was a day where you could ask Mr. O'Toole, like you would just go up and ask him a question. He'd be like, Day Wanawanga. He would not answer our questions. He would just say, no Jabba, no
All day.
Bada. All day.
All day, start to finish.
All day.
Good times.
He's going to do it to you guys now.
Do
Be
you know
prepared.
What was that teaching? Though it was fun.
Figured it out yourself.
No, it was
Well,
communication.
in a
It's
sense,
media
yeah.
communication, mass communication. If you ever, when you take a class in school, maybe you guys have already done that, you learn body language and intonation and how people say things, like huh and huh.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's the same thing. So yeah, it's so what that was a lesson in is no matter what I say, as ridiculous as it is, the way I say it is going to determine an answer. And you can substitute any words you want in there, but the way you say it matters more than the actual words themselves. So yes, that was a day in that lesson. there's lots of little lessons along the years that I tend to sprinkle in here and there. Like, no golden ears this year. You got lucky. Golden ears a couple of years ago, and golden ears until next year, but not this year.
Yeah, the things that he's saying, like the little things those are the things that, like I was talking about earlier, those are the things that like kind of stay with you that, really help you out in overall social skills. Is just kind of things like being able to read people's body language a little bit better from just the little life lessons that O'Toole would teach. Stuff I really keep with me.
Thanks. Does anybody out here have a question? I'll give you the mic, ask a question, follow-up question, anything you heard, anything you want to know about college, internships, beyond, job, anything. Morning class was throwing their hands out there. These guys look a little scared.
If you want to know a little bit about space, we can do that too.
Space? You mean the
final frontier
double slit experiment where we're going to talk about quantum
Ooh,
physics?
I like that video.
I love that. That was
See,
amazing.
these guys know all about the quantum. Yeah, we did that one.
Get ready for your mind to be blown.
Little question. Just say your name. Don't talk to me.
There are no stupid questions. Unless you answer the phantom power question wrong, then I'm going to slightly judge you a little bit.
23 volts?
Get out.
CJ.
Just get out.
No.
My name's CJ. I don't know if any of you know Manhattanville College. I just wanted to know about the audio program.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy.
You got me there.
No, I've never personally heard of Manhattanville College. I don't think anybody up here has. You could try, obviously Googling reviews about it, maybe like testimonials from people. I
think Yelp actually has a college section now where you can Yelp a college. I'm sure
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna
the
see
type of
nothing
person
but
that's going to
bad
Yelp
things.
is not the opinion you
Right.
want.
It's going to be angry typing woman in her kitchen. I think that this college was never good. Yes, always that woman. It's that woman. You're correct. Yeah.
The short haircut and the sunglasses.
Anybody else have a question? Questions? Questions? Yep.
Hi, I'm Vanessa. How do you like the Institute of Audio Research?
The mic. It was the best thing I ever did. Every teacher there is someone who's still currently in the industry. They all worked on big gold, platinum records. They're all hanging up on the wall. They all have movie credits to their name. And, in that type of atmosphere, I enjoyed it the best and had the good grades I did because I felt like I was being treated like an adult. Like I wasn't a student and that was a teacher, obviously it's not the biggest thing in the world, but just the fact of them like cursing with you, it's just like it feels you're on the same level, and it was just very comfortable. I loved going there every day. That year I went, the happiest parts of my day were being at school. So definitely something I highly recommend.
How was the commuting?
Sucked. There's two sessions, one 8 o'clock to 1, and then like 1:30 to whatever. But I was in the morning session, so I had to get up at 5 a.m. every single day to catch a 6:15 train to be in Manhattan by 7:30, and then take a subway down to the East Village and get to school. And then school would be done at 1 o'clock. I was home by 3. And then at the time, I worked at Target for a little bit. Worst choice of my life. Don't ever work at Target. And, I would start maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. And there would be most days I wouldn't get home till 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. So then I come home, eat dinner, go to sleep, basically take a nap, wake right up, nap on the train. Very expensive commuting too, but a lot cheaper than living in the city.
Or really going away to a four-year school and having to spend money on dorming and food and all that other good stuff. At least at Target, you can probably grab a bag of chips and just bring it in the back room and eat some chips in between. Yeah.
In your pants.
Anybody else? Anything to say? All right. Thank you guys very much. Give them a hand for coming out and volunteering their day. Answer questions about it.
AM was much better.
They will be out and about throughout the day in the studio after we finish our lecture. Guess what?